I'm Pete Wilson.
And I'm Suzanne Shaw. The crime was a home invasion robbery. A frightened victim called 911. She says not once, but twice. And as she tells News Center 4 tonight, police never came. Vic Lee has a story you'll see only on News Center 4.
I heard the noise upstairs, walked downstairs and broke the window.
The sound of broken glass awakened Michelle Wynn. She then heard someone picking the lock on her back door. Frightened, Wynn ran from the bedroom to her office, where there was a phone, to call 911.
I saw outside through the window two big men. Hurry up. I pick up telephone right here and I call 911. It's ringing about 6 times. And police answer and sound very sleepy. After she asked me information, suddenly she dropped the telephone.
Wynn says she frantically dialed 911 again.
I explained to her right now, they broke the window and tried to get in back door, so would you please send the police right away because I'm in scary. And when the police come, she told me police is on the way.
As she was speaking, Wynn says she heard the intruders come through the back door. They were making their way to her bedroom.
When I just put the telephone down and the two bad guys, he come in my room already, 2 men. And he showed the gun and he chasing me. I'm right there and I run this way.
Wynn ran out the front door, chased by the 2 intruders. Waiting outside, she says, were others. Wynn's neighbor, TRAN, heard the screams. He looked out his window.
She ran like crazy, and she screams so hard for help.
And were men following her?
7 or 8 of them.
Chased by the intruders, ran for her life. She ran from her home to this neighboring gas station, where she found refuge.
And I banged the door right there, and I asked employee, please open the door, rescue me.
Meantime, her neighbor rushed to his car and drove to the gas station. The car, he says, scared the assailants away.
I tell her, I said, did you call the police? She said, yes, I called the police twice. And I tell her, don't worry about it, the police will be here.
But both Wynn and TRAN say police never came.
I stayed way there until almost 6 o'clock in the morning.
Still no police came?
Nobody came. Nobody came that night.
Police never came at all. Never came, never called, never stopped by at all.
Michelle Wynn has taken her complaint to Oakland police, but they're not saying much.
An investigator is in charge of the case, and the investigator is looking into the case to determine if a policy or a procedure was violated.
What seems odd about this investigation is that police have declined to say anything at all to Michelle Wynn, even though the alleged home invasion occurred on October 10th, and that's 1 month ago. And as you heard, they're saying very little to us.
There are 911 tapes, I assume, and they must have listened to them by now.
Well, one would think that the first thing they would do, and presumably they have done this, is to listen to verify the existence of these 911 calls. But police won't even tell us that.
Yeah.
They won't even tell us that they verified
Well,
it.
you think if they're investigating a month afterward, they must have heard tapes that confirm the story, or they'd say, we have no confirmation.
Very interesting in this investigation is it's being investigated by internal affairs.
All right.
All right, well, I know you'll keep following it. Thanks, Vic. What Oakland police would say was that it was under investigation. Well, tonight, Vic Lee tells us what the investigators are saying now in a story you'll see only on News Center 4.
We want to ensure that something like this doesn't happen again if indeed there was a mistake done.
Police confirm an investigation is taking place.
I heard the noise upstairs, walked down.
Michelle Wynn still remembers vividly the early morning hours of October 10th. She heard someone breaking into her house. Frightened, Wynn ran from the bedroom to her office where there was a phone to call 911.
Hurry up. I pick up telephone right here and I call 911. It's ringing about 6 times. And police answer and sound very sleepy. After she asked me information, suddenly she dropped the telephone.
Wynn says she frantically dialed 911 again and talked to a second operator who promised her police were on their way. Then the intruders broke in.
2 men. And he showed the gun and he chasing me. I'm right there and I run this way.
Wynn ran out the front door, chased by the 2 intruders. Waiting outside, she says, were others. Wynn ran to this neighboring gas station where she found refuge. Police, Wynn says, never showed up that night.
Police never came at all. never came, never called, never stopped by at all.
To help that lady.
This neighbor and a gas station attendant corroborate her story. A month has passed. All police will tell Wynn is that they are investigating. We asked Oakland police if we could hear the tapes.
During an investigation, we don't release those tapes. It's part of the investigation, ongoing investigation, and we can't release those at this time.
But Officer Art Bautista did verify that the 2 911 calls took place.
Did police respond?
Yes.
Police were dispatched to the correct address?
As far as I know, once again, I know that officers were dispatched. The investigation will reveal why there wasn't contact made.
Officer Bautista said Internal Affairs was also investigating Wynn's allegation of improper conduct by an operator.
We want to work with her. We want to assure that whatever happened won't happen again, and there's an explanation for it, obviously. And we won't know until the investigation is complete.
Can you give the public any assurances that whatever happened that night, if anything did happen, that was an error, that did not compromise the 911 system as a whole?
Yes, the 911 system is still working. People should feel free to call, and we will respond.
So now we know, at least, that the 911 calls were made, and police say officers were dispatched. But to where? We don't know why they didn't make contact with Miss Wynn. And we still don't know why her first call to 911 was mysteriously disconnected. So many questions still remain.
Is there a possibility there was a communication problem, that police went to the wrong address?
Well, you know, that's possible, but remember that every time one calls 911, your address is reflected on the monitor automatically. So I don't know if that could possibly happen.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
We'll find out more.
All right, Vic, thanks a lot.